All right, let's talk cybersecurity. It often feels like you're just waiting for the next attack, right? Constantly playing defense. But what if you could flip the script? What if you had your own private spy agency, feeding you intel on your adversaries before they even make a move? Well, that's exactly what cyber threat intelligence is all about. It's how you stop playing defense and start going on offense. Let's get into it.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about this constant cyber threat and why just reacting all the time is, well, exhausting. Then we'll look at how to make that big shift from reactive to proactive. After that, we'll really break down what threat intelligence is, look at the three main levels, and then most importantly, we'll tie it all together and talk about why this actually matters to you.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. For so many security teams, the day-to-day is just this constant high-stress cycle of reaction, right? An alarm goes off, a breach gets flagged, and boom, it's all hands on deck trying to put out the fire. I'm sure that sounds familiar to a lot of you. It's a defensive posture for sure. But the problem is you're always, always one step behind the attacker. And this really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got that reactive defense. It's all about playing catch-up, responding after the breach, and just high stress. So much stress. But then you look at the other side, proactive defense. That's the dream, right? Preventing the breach from even happening, staying ahead of the curve, being in control. Making that jump from the stressful reactive side to the proactive one, it's not just a small adjustment, it's a complete shift in your entire security philosophy. It's about making a conscious decision to stop being a sitting duck and to start actively understanding the threats that are pointed right at you. And this quote just nails it. The whole point of modern cybersecurity isn't just to build a bigger wall and hope nobody climbs over it. No way. The goal is to anticipate, to prevent, and then to respond with precision. And to pull that off, you need something more than just strong defenses. You need really, really good intelligence.
Which brings us right to the heart of it. Cyber threat intelligence, or CTI as you'll hear it called. This is the engine that really powers that whole shift from reactive to proactive. You could even call it the secret sauce that turns a mountain of confusing data into a real strategic advantage.
So, what are we actually talking about here? CTI is defined as evidence-based knowledge, and that word knowledge is everything. See, we're not just talking about a giant list of sketchy IP addresses or a constant stream of alerts. That's just data. It's noise. CTI is what happens when all that data gets scooped up, processed, and analyzed until it becomes something you can actually use, something that helps you make smarter, faster decisions. Here's maybe a better way to think about it. CTI gives you the context. It provides the story behind all that data. So, raw data might tell you that an attack is happening. Okay, useful. But intelligence tells you the whole narrative. Who's behind it? Why are they targeting you? And exactly how are they trying to get in? That context is what turns a sea of noise into something you can actually act on.
And that story really answers three huge questions. First, the who. Who is the threat actor? Is it a nation state, a financially motivated crime ring? Second, the why. What are they after? What's their end goal? And third, the how. This is where we get into their tactics, techniques, and procedures, or TTPs. You can literally think of TTPs as the attacker's playbook. CTI is like getting your hands on a copy of that playbook before the game even starts.
Okay, but here's the thing. Not all intelligence is created equal. CTI actually comes in 3 different flavors or levels. Each one serves a totally different purpose and is meant for a different audience inside your organization. Sticking with our private spy agency analogy, you've got intel briefings for the generals up in the boardroom, dossiers for the commanders in the field, and real-time alerts for the soldiers on the front lines. All right, this table lays it all out perfectly. Let's start at the very top with strategic intelligence. This is your big picture, 30,000-foot view. It's for the generals, your executives, your board members, the non-technical folks. It's not about code, it's about business risk. It answers questions like, are cybercriminals from a certain region starting to target our industry? This helps them make high-level decisions. Then we move down to operational intelligence. Now this is the dossier for your field commanders. Think security managers, incident responders. This gets into the nitty-gritty of an attacker's playbook, those TTPs we just talked about. It's all about how a specific group operates. And finally, we get to tactical intelligence. This is for the soldiers in the trenches, your SOC analysts and engineers. This is the immediate boots-on-the-ground stuff. We're talking malicious IP addresses, file hashes, sketchy URLs, the real-time data your security tools can use to block an attack that's happening right now.
So you've got these 3 layers of intelligence all working in concert, from the C-suite right down to the server room. And when you combine them, well, that's when you see a massive, tangible payoff for your organization's security. So what does that payoff look like? Well, first, you get proactive defense. Your strategic CTI tells you a new ransomware group is hitting your industry. So what do? You prioritize patching the exact vulnerabilities you know they love to exploit. You're not guessing anymore. Second, faster incident response. Let's say an attack gets through. Your operational CTI has already given your team the attacker's playbook. They know the phishing techniques, so when a suspicious email lands, the tactical CTI, that malicious link, gets blocked instantly. And your team knows exactly what they're up against. They contain it in minutes, not days. And all of this leads to informed decision-making. You're no longer just throwing money at security problems. You're aligning your budget and your people with the most critical, most likely risks. I love this quote because it really just captures the whole transformation perfectly. A traditional firewall, that's a shield. It just sits there. It's passive. But CTI, well, CTI turns your security into a radar that sees threats coming from miles away, and a sword, so you can actually do something about them.
And really, that brings us to the final thought here. The bad guys are getting smarter, more sophisticated every single day. Just building higher walls isn't going to cut it anymore. Our defenses have to get smarter too. So it leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it? In this never-ending fight against cybercrime, is intelligence your ultimate weapon?